Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with my top 7 most anticipated games of 2019. Yes, I promise this is the end of the top videos. After doing my top games, top hidden gems, most disappointing games, all of 2018, we take a look together into the future on what we simply cannot wait to get our hands on. Also keep in mind, this list isn't in chronological order, I'm just really stoked to play each and every single one of these titles. Let's get started. It begins with the Caligula Effect Overdose. Now this was formerly a PlayStation Vita title. You know, I love my Vita, and it goes down as one of the most underrated and under-discussed games along with many others on that platform. Now what is Overdose? Pretty much what they're doing is taking the Vita version, like most games in that library, as they gradually disintegrate, and bringing them over to the main consoles. Pretty much the premise behind the Caligula Effect is that you are stuck inside Mobius, aka a virtual reality world, and you're trying to escape. The idea of this virtual reality world is that everyone is visiting this high school together and trying to live in a utopia, pretty much. But as you can tell, for those who do pay attention to JRPGs, it takes a lot of pages from the Persona Handbook, which I personally adore, as that's one of my favorite JRPG series. The idea of social links and having 500 students to interact with, building relationships, and also having tons of different endings, well, count me in. I just hope it's not a situation like Summon Night 6, where that was another JRPG that on paper and in concept looked great and it had 30 plus endings, but when I picked it up, I was really disappointed. So fingers crossed on this one. Moving on to yet another JRPG. Surprise, surprise. This time, it's Kingdom Hearts 3. You know, it's very rare that you can craft a list of most anticipated titles, and easily one of the ones you're looking most forward to is in the first month of the year. And it's one title that you've been waiting for since you were in grade school. I have been hotly anticipating Kingdom Hearts 3 for the majority of my life, quite honestly. I've enjoyed the spin-off titles, but we have all yearned for that numbered entry, the beloved Kingdom Hearts 3. We're going to be taking on the Seekers of Darkness. I think we'll be getting our questions answered when it comes to whatever is in that little box that was being carried around in the Unchained Key movie. I'm starting to think that Xehanort is serving as more of a puppet to someone in a much more powerful position, controlling all of the happenings in this universe. It's really exciting stuff. I just hope the story isn't super convoluted, but even if so, much like in Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, the gameplay is superb, and Kingdom Hearts 3 looks to mix so many elements of all those spin-off titles and put them right into this game alongside mini games, lots of areas to explore. Of course, Kingdom Hearts always comes with fun difficulty modes, fun challenges, hidden boss fights, all that type of stuff piled on. At least this is going to be a fantastic and enjoyable gameplay experience. The story, well, we'll find out come January 25th, 2019. Next, and while this isn't confirmed for 2019, I'd be silly as hell if I did not put this on my list, Cyberpunk 2077. I'm really just crossing my fingers that this is one that does make its way out into the holiday period of 2019. The reason for that is quite obvious. CD Projekt Red really won the hearts of gamers with The Witcher 3. I've personally been on board since The Witcher 2, as I found that one of the most underrated games and under-discussed ones that showed how powerful of a developer CD Projekt Red truly was. The Witcher 3 just took things a million miles further in every way, shape, and form, crafting an open world, believable and intriguing characters, a plot worth caring about, and the list goes on. Like I said, CD Projekt Red managed to really solidify themselves as one of the top RPG developers in our industry, so anything they are coming out with next, naturally I would be excited for as an RPG fan. But what they're doing with Cyberpunk 2077 is especially impressive, seeing it be a full-on first-person shooter with actual solid gunplay, as if they've been working on first-person shooters their entire studio's history, seeing special abilities and loot tied to this system. It's clearly not a thoughtless transfer of IPs. What is most exciting to me about Cyberpunk 2077 is that nothing from that game echoes that of The Witcher, from the world to the gameplay. It's all completely different and will be a refreshing experience in turn. Also can't help but adore, like I kind of do with the Outer Worlds, that a lot of the focus for the gameplay dump for Cyberpunk was choice and consequence, interacting with characters, showing how all that goes down, and the way they mixed and matched music inside that gameplay, which I highlighted in my 10 little details you may have missed video for that gameplay reveal. I thought that they did a fantastic job of building certain scenes naturally for the player. What CD Projekt Red is doing with the audio is sheer mastery, and it needs more attention. Moving on to number 4, and that is The Outer Worlds.
Oh, I'm judging all right.
This is probably the one I'm looking most forward to out of everything on this list, right next to Kingdom Hearts 3. The Outer Worlds is simply a style of game that I think I can say we all have yearned for quite some time. We're a silent protagonist with a nice looking dialogue tree, making choices and shaping this world as we go. It's single player, it's from Obsidian Entertainment, some of the best single player RPG developers our industry has seen. I don't think I need to say more than that. Their pedigree speaks for themselves, and yes, while the mechanics don't seem necessarily innovative outside of the flaws system, which is something that's completely different from what we've seen in gaming, it's going back to a time I thought was lost, and it's also going back to my favorite style of game, created in the vein of KOTOR or Jade Empire, RPGs that, in my humble opinion, I feel are crafted in the best way possible through that style. But seeing Obsidian carry things a little bit more forward, like I said, with the flaws system, also seeing gameplay start to get sharpened up, while compared to the rest of the industry may not be top notch, but it's a lot better than what we've seen from them in the past, knowing it's not based off skills, but rather knowing it's based off simply your skill with aiming, possibility of having a leader skill and controlling how your companions attack and ordering them from the back lines. There's a lot of replayability already up front for this game, and only as we discover more throughout 2019 for this title will I continue to get more excited, because there's just so much lined up for this game, man. I cannot wait. Moving on, number 5, Metro Exodus, which is coming out February 15th, 2019. Now, I've voiced in the podcast how I played Metro Exodus at E3 and I overall wasn't too impressed with what was there. But as time goes on, I realized that was an earlier version of the game, stuff that likely will be fixed by the time that the full title is out. Simply put, Metro is one of my favorite post-apocalyptic series. I love the idea of crawling through the tunnels, leaving those tunnels into vast, expansive areas in the game that are jaw-dropping simply due to the engine 4A Games uses, including some of the effects they use in the environment for weather, wiping rain droplets off your gas mask. Stuff like this really builds an aesthetic for the Metro universe, whose biggest strength is easily its atmosphere. Something that I think is easily overlooked in exchange for some of the survival mechanics that it has, some of the storytelling it has. Metro Exodus once again focuses on Artyom as he makes a year-long journey throughout Moscow. That is what's the most interesting part, is that a lot of this is going to be taking place on a train as we just cross these lands. So we get to see a lot of different things that we have never seen in a Metro game. And while it's not particularly open world, there are going to be a lot of interconnected levels that are very open for exploration. I think it'll be a good taste for folks on what we can actually expect with the Outer Worlds in the terms of size and exploration per location. But I digress. That's not the reason I'm excited. It's just that Metro is such a fantastic series, and I only imagine the game has gotten better since I had last played it. Also, much like Kingdom Hearts 3, it's a game I'm looking forward to, and it's right in the beginning of the year, albeit on a very, very busy day in our industry, February 15th. 6 on the list is Ultimate Alliance 3. I really almost overlooked this because Nintendo's creator program has been ingrained in my mind, but then I realized they lifted it and I can actually talk about Nintendo games. So yes, you can expect Nintendo reviews in 2019. That's something I am now capable of doing, and I am stoked about that. Ultimate Alliance 3 though, talk about getting blindsided at the Game Awards. I did not expect this one, man, because I love Ultimate Alliance. If there's one title I have played a disgusting amount of, it is the first ever Ultimate Alliance game. I played it a bunch on my PS2, on my PSP, on my Xbox 360, and then they re-released it for PS4, and even though it was busted, I sure as hell played it again. Yes, I am obsessed with Ultimate Alliance. It's just such a cool idea, RPG focused beat 'em up featuring all of your favorite Marvel characters, and now we're getting one, albeit exclusive to the Switch. I understand why that would grind some gears. However, no one was really freaking out when Sony got Spider-Man exclusive to the PS4, so I don't see the big deal with Nintendo getting Ultimate Alliance 3 exclusive to their console. I like the change in art style. It's much more comic focused, which I think will only serve to aid the game and allow them to include more characters because it won't be as intensive graphically on the system, but still pop and fit the aesthetics of the game. I saw that we had the Guardians of the Galaxy, we saw the X-Men, of course we saw famous heroes like Spider-Man, but also knowing Team Ninja is behind this one, gameplay can actually surprise a lot more of us. We don't know much about it, but I am infinitely curious, and knowing that it's 4-player online co-op or play right next to my friends on the same TV, that's also another huge +1 for me. Last, but certainly not least on this list is Babylon's Fall, coming from Platinum Games. In 2017, Platinum Games, alongside Yoko Taro, created one of my favorite titles of all time, Nier Automata, a game I could not help but adore based off the way its story was told, the music was absolutely incredible, and also Platinum Games' marquee action, hack and slash combat. All of this meshed together to create one fantastic experience that I will never forget and continue to go back over my years and replay. Now, anything after Nier Automata coming from Platinum Games will have me excited. With that in mind, a lot of you do know, Matt, you're a Ninja Turtles fan.
And just like that, I'm done with the game. It's only a few hours long. Are you fucking kidding me?
Why are you excited for Platinum Games video games when they also created one of the worst games you've ever played and one that disappointed you more than anything, to the point where you're still talking about it here, now entering 2019? Well, the funny situation with Platinum Games is they have their A team and their B/C team. So what I mean by this is the A team clearly worked on the likes of Metal Gear Rising, Nier Automata, and so on. But obviously the B/C team touched games like Legend of Korra and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, games that clearly lacked thought, balance, and merely were slapped together for sales. Babylon's Fall is noted by Platinum Games as apparently their biggest challenge. We've seen them start to take on scale in battles, where Nier Automata had a couple of war scenes, Grand Blue, which is a JRPG that has yet to come to the West and simply needs to, focuses a lot on scale in its battles. So I believe that Babylon's Fall, with clearly a focus on war in mind, is going to bring to the table some humongous battles with lots of NPCs and gargantuan monsters. We also saw this with the canceled Xbox One exclusive from Platinum Games called Scalebound. So I feel like Platinum Games has been trending in this supposed direction that I'm imagining they are for quite some time, and that Babylon's Fall will be the new IP that nails down that idea. We will have all of our questions answered about each of these games dropping in 2019 come their release dates, so we don't have to wait too long for some of them. I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys are looking most forward to in the comments down below. Do fire away, ladies and gentlemen. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that, as it fuels all the content I create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.